Welcome back to the Wellness with Delaney podcast. Today I'm with Jessica Rose. She's an author, a certified nutritionist, and a holistic beauty expert, among so many other amazing credentials. So, we are going to be chatting all about holistic beauty, how to make non toxic swaps in your home, in your skincare, in your food, and really just live a vibrant life from the inside out. She also just launched a book, and I'm so excited to share with you guys because I know if you're listening to the Wellness with Delaney podcast, you're the type of person who would love this book. So, welcome, Jessica. Can you tell us about the book that you just wrote?
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Delaney. I'm really excited to be here today. My book is called Healthier Beauty, The Ultimate Guide to Radiant Skin, Hair, and Wellness. And it is a wellness focused approach to beauty. So I teach women how to just make their health a priority and to ditch all the toxic beauty products and procedures and just incorporate healthier practices like learning the science of the skin and the hair, DIY beauty practices, eating for beauty, self care, and just really honing in on the natural aspect, the holistic aspect of wellness and making that the best way to age gracefully.
Amazing. So, how did you even get into all of this?
So I started out making beauty products as a kid. So I grew up poor and we just didn't have a lot of money to go and buy all these beauty products that my friends had. So instead, I started just making them at home. I had plant oils and herbs, and I would go to the herb store with my dad. So I just started making them and found that they really worked. And then later on, I became a licensed cosmetologist and I kind of switched over to all these toxic beauty products. And I had no idea that they were really harming my health and potentially my clients. And so finally, I got certified as a holistic nutritionist. And then I just really started incorporating this complete holistic lifestyle that I was living and just fused together the beauty and the health together to now teach my clients that the best way to age gracefully is just to incorporate holistic practices from what we eat to what we put on our skin. It's all connected.
Amazing. I love that so much. So, if somebody's reading the book, like, what are some of the biggest, I mean, don't give away anything that, like, they should find in the book, but who are the people who would benefit most from this book?
I would say everyone from someone who's young, who's just getting into her first beauty routine, who wants to understand just the basics. I believe that once you're educated, you can make more decisions for yourself. So you learn about the science of the skin, you learn about things like your skin barrier, you learn about hair porosity, which really is not talked about a lot. And if you want to learn how to eat for nutrition, so anyone who's in their 20s, 30s, upward, anyone who just wants to age gracefully. And it's also a book for men too. I've been told that I don't point that out enough. It's anyone who cares about your skin, your hair, just wanting to age gracefully and learn a healthier approach. There's a lot of stuff in the wellness space and even the holistic beauty space that's not talked about. And I'm really honest and transparent because I want people to feel empowered and not have to look to all these websites and products in order to look and feel good, but really just to have those tools within themselves to be able to make informed choices about their health and beauty.
I love that so much. Where can people find this book?
So you can find Healthier Beauty. You can find it on Amazon. There's a print book. There's also the ebook. You can find it on Apple. You can find it on Kobo. And then if you wanted to buy directly from me, I'm an independent author, then you can reach out to me on my website, jessicarosewellness.com, and I will send you an autographed copy with a handwritten note. And it's just a really great way to support independent authors.
Beautiful. You guys, I'll make sure to put a link to shop in the show notes. So if this sounds like something that's up your alley and you want to find a healthier you, beauty, food, all of the things, make sure to click that link and check out Jessica's new book. So, Jessica, tell me, how do we promote beauty naturally?
So I would say the first way is to focus on minimizing your exposure to toxins. I always say that toxins are the number one accelerator of aging, and I don't think that that's really talked about enough. So I would say if you can do anything right now, like as soon as you're done listening to this podcast, is to look at all your products and see what has fragrance in there. And I promise you, you're going to find that in your skincare, your makeup, your hair care, your candles, your air fresheners, your laundry detergent, even something as the laundry detergent heating up in the dryer and putting those fumes in your house is very toxic. So just the word fragrance alone can hold hundreds, if not thousands of ingredients that are not disclosed. They're not vitamins for you. They're not healthy. So if you're inhaling those products, putting them on your skin, your body's going to feel so overwhelmed and your toxic load is just going to go crazy and you're going to accelerate your aging process. So if you want to just really look good as you age, I would say the number one thing besides eating healthy is ditching the toxins.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll make a huge difference with how you look, how you feel, how you operate. Fragrance is huge. I can't believe how many ingredients can hide under one word. I feel like that's so insane. What are some other big offending ingredients that you'd recommend people look out for in their self-care and home products?
I would say so parabens are a really big one. They can cause a lot of different issues with your hormones, and those are preservatives that are put in there. There's other ways to preserve products. Things like talc. I used to use this, all my face powders had talc, and that's really bad if it's in a face powder because you're inhaling it. So I would say fragrance, talc, parabens. And then I would also say your drinking water for me is the first place I always start with my clients, is because you are mostly made of water. So if you're drinking your local city water, it's full of fluoride, it's full of chlorine, it's full of antibiotics, it's full of heavy metals. You know, it's really bad for you. So I would say start with a drinking water filter, something very simple you could get. It's also cheaper than buying plastic bottles and it's better for your health. And also shower filter, those are really important. I don't think a lot of people use those maybe. That's still being talked about right now, but shower filters are important because the same toxins that are in your drinking water are also in your shower water. And it's also better for your skin and hair. So if you're someone who colors your hair, I used to be a hairdresser, I still keep my license active, but if you color your hair, then the chlorine in there is going to affect your hair color and it's going to make your hair color altered. And you're going to be at your hairdresser a lot more often. So you're going to be spending more money. So if you want to preserve your hair color, and also, chlorine is the number one thing that's going to make you have hair loss. So, you know, it's really good to just get something to remove that filter. If you only care about it for the beauty purposes, then either way, your health or your beauty, it's still going to serve you well.
Absolutely. I mean, beauty is an indicator of health. I say it all the time till I'm blue in the face. Yeah, I got a Jolie shower filter and it made such a difference in just how my hair was feeling, how it was styling, how it was like growing really fast. I noticed a huge difference. Okay, so I'm on the same wavelength with you about fluoride. But for those who are listening are like, "Wait, my dentist tells me to use fluoride. Wait, I've been taking fluoride tablets since I was 3 years old. What's the deal with it?"
So it can really affect your pineal gland if that's like really, if you don't know what that is, it's will block your intuition and they kind of honestly want that for us. They don't want us to be present and trusting our intuition and guiding us. They want us to all be sheep. But that's a whole different podcast discussion. But fluoride was put into the water just because they had this surplus of it. They didn't know what to do with it. So they disposed of it and put it in our water system and then lied to all of us and told us that it's good for us. And sure, there are some benefits for your teeth, but the contraindications with your health is just horrible. So if you can find a filter that filters it out, you know, you'd be a lot healthier. You know, when I go to the dentist personally, I have to lie. I just tell my dentist, sorry, my doctor says I can't have any antibiotics or any fluoride in any of the procedures that I have. All I say is that, and they go, "Oh, okay," and they mark it down, then they don't do it. But I think a lot of us are just really scared, you know, there's the white coat with the doctors or the dentist, and we're just too scared to say, you know, stand up and be our own health advocate. So if you have to, just lie and say, "Sorry, my doctor says I can't have fluoride, and so I don't ever have fluoride when I go to the dentist." Otherwise, they put it all in your gums and your teeth, and it's not healthy for you.
Yeah, that's so true. And I mean, at the end of the day, like the only person that has full control over what goes on in our bodies is ourselves. So you should be able to say whatever you want. I mean, that's like when I go to TSA and I say, "Can I get a pat down?" And they try to ask me why, like, "Oh, are you pregnant? Why this?" I'm like, "No, but I don't actually have to tell you, but you have to give me a pat down." Like we have that agency. Just a lot of us, I don't think, realize that. I'm definitely going to do that at the dentist because I have been really avoidant with the dentist ever since I've learned about fluoride a couple years ago. And I have not gone to the dentist in way too long because I've been so scared to go. So I'm going to try that and keep the audience updated on how my dentist responds because that's pretty brilliant. What are some non-toxic beauty secrets that you love to share with people?
I would say so it is beauty, but it's kind of the word non-toxic. I would say this is a little bit different, but everybody, you cook every day, right? So you're eating 3 times a day if you're eating from home. I would start with your cookware because there's so many toxins in your cookware. people think, oh, I'm holistic, I'm eating this healthy lifestyle, I'm buying organic food, but then you're cooking it and preparing it in cookware that's then leaching toxins like your nonstick pans, ceramic coated. So I really like a brand that is just pure 100% ceramic. So then you're not leaching any toxins, or stainless steel or cast iron. So then when you are eating nourishing, healthy beauty foods, then you're just eating that. You're not eating a side of toxins with it. So I would say the number one thing I would say is to start with your food in your cookware, because food is the foundation of beauty. And then other things I like to do, I do face yoga. That's a really big one. And then I just use all non-toxic beauty products. I have a list on my website of all the non-toxic beauty products I do, but there's things like gua sha. There's just so many holistic beauty practices I've been doing for probably 15 years, and some of them since I was a kid. But I can go into any of them further if you'd like.
Absolutely. I'd love to go into all of them. So let's start with the cookware because I think this is fascinating and nobody's talked about this on the show yet. So, what are some of the toxins in many households and restaurants' cookware?
So they use a non-stick coating. I can't say the name to save the life of me, so I'll let somebody else spell it out. But I can give you the words for it. But it is a coating that they put on there to make it so you don't have to put on this oil fat, because people are so scared of fat these days. So it makes it non-stick. However, every time you cook, you're scratching your cookware, which then can leach the chemicals that are in there. And then most of them are made with a base of aluminum, and aluminum can then also cause different health issues. You're not supposed to say that, but okay. So, there's just so many toxins in your cookware. The brand that I use is called Extrema Cookware. There's a difference in pure ceramic opposed to ceramic coated, which is not a
Mm.
pure ceramic. And then there's a base of aluminum probably underneath. But I also really like stainless steel, and I also really like cast iron. I think it's good to have different ones. And also, cast iron's more affordable. So if you're just starting out, I would just say get a cast iron. I think they're $20 at Target.
And they last forever. So, are
Yeah.
you saying that a lot of these like non-toxic cookware brands are actually greenwashing us all?
Oh yeah. I'm not going to name the names, but if you see something that says ceramic coated, it's coated on top of something. Look at what it's coated on top. And then if you scratch it enough times, then that's going to wear down and end up in your food and you're eating it. So it's better to have something that's just pure 100% ceramic from start to finish. Like you could crack it open and just see it's pure ceramic. There's no aluminum base in there.
Brilliant. Yeah, because I mean, I have been learning so much about the neurotoxin effects of aluminum specifically, and it's terrifying. I mean, they're also adding it into so many different like fast foods. It's absolutely vile to me. I cannot believe that. So you mentioned the one brand that you're loving for cookware. Are there any other brands that people can look out for in the stores that you would say are safe and healthy?
Is, I don't know the exact name of the cast iron, but any Target or any local place will just have the cast iron. And then I know for stainless steel, it's called 360 cookware, but they're really expensive. So, it's something that you need to save up for. So I would just say buy just like a basic stainless steel. But even with stainless steel, it can leach nickel and different stuff into your food if it's not a certain grade of nickel. So it's
Mhm.
important to take it step by step. Don't follow my lead. I've been doing this for 15 years. And if you try and do everything, you're going to get so overwhelmed that you're going to end up doing nothing. So just pick one thing that you want to focus on. Do you want to maybe switch to a non toxic lipstick? That makes a huge difference because you're probably eating it every time that you put it on. If you want to focus on the food, then yeah, look at the cookware or a shower water filter. Don't try and do it all at once. Don't go spend all this money. It is way too overwhelming and you're just going to burn out and you're going to feel like you need to be perfect. You're modeling yourself after someone who's been doing it for 15 years. You're probably going to fail because it's just too overwhelming. And when I first found out about it, I was so overwhelmed that I almost didn't do anything because it's very scary. And I threw out all my beauty products. And then I found out that I needed to wear them the next day. So I actually had to go in the trash and dig them out and use the beauty products. So just take it step by step. Buy one beauty product or something that you're running out of. Oh, my mascara is running out. Just go look for a healthier alternative and then buy that and just dip your toes in the non toxic world. Don't go full throttle right away. You'll burn out for sure.
I love that. Yeah, analysis paralysis is so real. And it's really easy. I think once the veil is torn for people and they realize like how toxic the world is, they can get so scared. Just remember, you guys, staying in fight or flight is just as bad for you, if not worse, than those toxic products. So, yes, make the switches, but do it in a way like what excites you most? What are you using the most? I love that so much. And I totally relate because people, I mean, as a health coach, people will ask me a million questions and I'm like, wait, okay, I'm going to give this all to you, but this is too much. You cannot go spend $5,000 on things I've been curating for the past several years, you know? I mean, maybe you can. And if you can, amazing. But most people can't. So, and that's okay. It's a journey and it's better to make one swap than none at all. So, okay, speaking of food, since we're on this topic already, what are some of your favorite foods for anti-aging and just vitality?
So my favorite beauty food, I call it liquid gold, is bone broth, and I make it at
Mm,
home. It's not your store-bought stuff that's watered down. It doesn't have any gelatinous factors to it. This is cooked for 24 hours with grass-fed beef bones, lamb bones, and then I put chicken feet in there. And that is like a straight collagen source. And then I will drink that every day. I put it and I simmer my food with it. I make beans, I make chili, I make different rice, and I use it for all my cooking. And that's just straight liquid collagen, and it's way better than a collagen powder. I recommend collagen powders for people, but if you can have bone broth, it's way better. And then just, I know I've seen you on Instagram. You love like steak and grass-fed beef and stuff like that. I'm the same way. People will go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're having a burger at lunch. Aren't you a nutritionist?" Yes, I am. And meat is good for you. Meat is very healthy. And people have been lied to about red meat. Red meat is so good for you. It's so healthy. I call it a health food. And I get really energized when I eat red meat. Maybe some people get tired. It's all about your bio individuality and what your body can process and your genetics. But I would say, eating lots of animal based protein is really good for you. And then incorporating healthy fats. Don't steer clear of healthy fats. Our brain is made up to 60% fat. So if you're not eating enough fat, you're not going to be able to think clearly. You're going to look older. And so, protein, healthy fats, and then lots of different variety of vegetables, colors of fruits, filtered water, and lots of fruits. Fruits are really good for you just to balance it out with protein and healthy fats so you don't get a blood sugar spike is probably my top beauty foods.
I love it. Okay, and you mentioned chicken feet, and I just like I can't go past that without like stopping and like rewinding. Chicken feet, real in your bone broth.
I know so it's crazy, but if you open my freezer, the entire thing is full of bones and chicken feet,
I
and
love
they're creepy. They actually have nails. It's really weird. So you just have to kind of look away and put them in. But I put like 5 or 6 chicken feet into the bone broth, and it just adds a really rich collagen addition to the broth. But you just ask your local butcher, or you can order them in advance, but they're inexpensive and they're so good for you.
Oh my gosh, my husband is gonna never let me live this down because I tease him ruthlessly because he grew up eating chicken feet. And I was like, why would you do that? That's so gross. But and now I guess I have to try this. So if you okay, so you have the beef bones, the lamb bones, the chicken feet. How are you? Can you give us like your process on how you make your bone broth so people can replicate it at home?
Mhm. So it's really simple, and I think people overcomplicate it. So, first of all, don't chop up your vegetables. There's no need because you're going to be discarding them. You're wasting your time. So, just get a big crock pot. I mean, those aren't 100% non toxic, but a big pot, a big crock pot. I just use a crock pot to be honest. And then just throw the bones in there. Rinse your celery and then snap it in half with your hands and throw it in. Snap a carrot if you can. Chop an onion in half, throw it in. Keep the skin on if you want. Throw some garlic cloves in, throw some parsley in there, fill it up with water, put some sea salt in there, and then pour some apple cider vinegar, which helps to pull the minerals from the bones. Turn it on and let it go for 24 to 48 hours. And then when you're done with that, just let it cool down. You strain it and just put it in a big container or bowl in your refrigerator, and it should like crust over with some fat. That fat's really good. You can use it for cooking, you can drink it, but your bone broth should be really gelatinous. It should look like jello. It shouldn't be watery. And if you're buying the stuff from the store, it's probably watery. You're wasting your money, and they probably aren't using the best high quality water either. So you're not
Mm.
getting this pure bone broth that's meant to nourish your beauty. So just make it yourself. And plus, it's so cheap to make yourself. I mean, it's really expensive to buy bone broth at the store. It really is.
Yeah, you know, I was at the store and I was looking at those like bone broth powders 'cause I was traveling and I read the ingredients and there was natural flavors. I'm like, why are you adding natural flavors into bone broth? I thought this would just be like dehydrated bones. Could not believe it. So yeah, make it yourself. You can control every ingredient that goes in. You mentioned the water too. Do you have a water filtration that you like?
I use a brand Aquasana and I use their shower filter too, but it hooks up to your sink. So then I'm always rinsing my vegetables in there too, because it's like, okay, you're going and buying organic vegetables, but then you're rinsing them in water that has toxins.
Mhm.
So then you're always rinsing and then you're also cooking with that same water. So Aquasana is a really good one and I highly recommend them. It's also really cheap to have a water filter that hooks up to your sink. It's way more cost effective than buying water bottles, which is a whole nother story about the plastic and the overconsumption and how it messes with your hormones. And it's just glorified, barely filtered water they charge you all this money for. It's ridiculous.
I love that. Okay, I'm definitely gonna go check that out because I need to be better about what I'm cleaning my produce in for sure. Okay, and then fat. Is fat also, would you say fat's a beauty food? Because I know it's been kind of demonized by the public, but I feel like it makes me glow.
Yes. I always say so gain 5 pounds, lose 5 years. So if a woman has a little extra 5 pounds on her body, she's going to look more youthful. But, everyone wants to be so super thin. And then it makes our faces look super gaunt. So I say fat is a incredible beauty food. It plumps up your skin. Water is not the only source of hydration. You also need moisturizer from internally with healthy fats. And so it's really good for your brain health, but it's also good for your body. And it also helps you to feel satiated and it also keeps your blood sugar levels stable. And if you don't have balanced blood sugar levels, then your body's going to crash. And it's also going to affect your body and speed up the glycation, which also then can speed up aging. So I say healthy fats like grass fed butter are great, avocados, nuts and seeds. I just ate a handful of cashews before I got on here. I'm constantly eating different cheeses. I love cheese so much. But, I write about that in my book too, where I have myth, like there's a myth and then truth for all different the chapters. One of them is nutrition chapter. And I go into is dairy bad for you? Is gluten bad for you? And I always say that there's so many fallacies in the, health world that everyone says this is 100% bad for everyone, but we're all made so differently. We all have bio-individual needs. I eat dairy and I feel amazing. I've actually had those, IgG tests. I am highly tolerant to dairy. And so dairy is a beauty food for me, but it may not be a beauty food for you. So it's about what you can digest and what you can absorb. And that's really important. There's no perfect food for anyone. Grass-fed beef is my perfect beauty food, but it may not be for somebody else.
I love that approach. Yeah, you know what's so crazy too is I actually used to be highly intolerant to dairy. I went 10 years without it. And then several years ago, I introduced raw dairy back into my diet, which I'd never had raw dairy before, only like pasteurized industrial dairy, and was completely fine. And now, like, I mostly eat raw, but when I do eat something pasteurized, like if I'm out and about, doesn't affect me, not even a little. It's insane. But I will also say for people, because I know some people are like, oh, like the dairy, the red meat, whatever makes me bloat. Something else I've done is I started adding raw pancreas, like sprinkling it on my food, which has digestive enzymes. She's never bloated. It's insane. Are you a fan of the organ meats?
I haven't like dipped my toes into them so much. I really want to though. I know that I could not stomach actually eating them, but
Yeah.
taking a pill or like you said, so you just use a powder?
So I actually started using Pluck, which I interviewed the founder of a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
And it's like an organ-based seasoning. It's raw organs freeze dried, and then they add like garlic and other like seasonings. It's super umami. It tastes amazing. Like it actually enhances flavor, but then you're not getting like the I'm eating organs
Yeah.
feeling, you know?
I love
Amazing.
learning something new. I'm going to look that up as soon as we get off this podcast.
It's amazing. Yeah, the digestive enzymes really do help break down food. Okay, so back on track. We know the foods you're loving. Are there any foods that you say speed up the process of aging?
I would say an excess of sugar, but it's not what people say. People really demonize sugar. I would say just too much sugar. Even something like eating a bowl of mangoes on an empty stomach can be bad and speed up aging if you don't have protein and healthy fat. So it's always have everything paired with protein and healthy fat, even your snacks. Natural flavors, they've been creeped into the health food world. I want to say 5 to 10 years ago, but they're all over the place. They're not I wouldn't say they're not natural, but just like the fragrance, I call them the fragrance of the food industry. We don't know what's in these natural flavors. How are you getting these sources of natural flavors? So I would say if you don't know what's in your food, then that's going to speed up aging. So unless you can tell me this is a lime that's in here, the natural flavor is 100% a lime, then I'm not going to touch it. I'm just not going to put that in my body and just have no idea what's in there. So I would say yeah, that's probably my top 2.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that the companies are allowed to have anything proprietary when it comes to what we're literally consuming and putting in our bodies. Natural flavoring being one of them. It's insane. How do you feel about alcohol?
So I don't drink anymore. It's been, I want to say 3.5 years, but I used to drink, and I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking. It's in moderation. It's definitely not a vitamin. It's definitely not good for you. There's no health benefit to drinking. Oh, your doctor says it's good for your heart. Well, there's a million other things that are better for your heart. So I think it's just, in moderation, it can be good, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you?
Yeah, I used to drink quite a bit, not like drinking all the time, but like if I was ever at dinner, of course I'm having a drink or two kind of mentality. Lately, it just hasn't been sitting as well with me. I think that I've gotten way more sensitive to everything I'm putting in my body. So like right now, I'm doing a full month with like not a single drink because I'm doing a parasite cleanse. But even beyond that, I haven't really been drinking. Like maybe if I'm at a celebration, like one glass of champagne. But that's kind of it. Like I haven't really been enjoying it lately.
Right. My body's got so sensitive to it. I used to drink and I was fine. And then all of a sudden I realized I couldn't even have one drink. Everybody would be fine and I would be hungover from one drink. And I said, okay, I've been told that I have an allergy to it. And I just ignored it. Like, you seriously have an allergy, Jessica? I'm like, okay. But yeah, it never made me feel well. But I thought that was how everybody felt when they drink. You're drinking alcohol, you're going to feel horrible the next day. But no, for me, I feel horrible. Like, I'll be depressed for 3 days if I drink alcohol. So I just don't drink it because it affects my body that badly.
Wow, that's pretty impactful. With that being said, probably a great lifestyle choice anyways. I mean, that can only help, right? I know that alcohol has a whole slew of interactions with the body on like a hormone level and everything else. I know every time I drink it, I break out. Like even one drink, I break out. It's insane. And same like the anxiety. I'm part Asian too, so it like I think exacerbates it because I really do get that like I don't think I have an enzyme to break it down. So I'm feeling it for days after. So we're kind of the same. Okay, so moving kind of into like the beauty lifestyle component. I know that you're the queen of DIY when it comes to gorgeous skin and hair. Can you share any fun DIY recipes that you love when it comes to beautifying yourself?
Sure. So I only exfoliate my skin every so 2 times a month, which people think is crazy because everyone does it 2 to 3 times a week. But my favorite one is goat kefir. I don't know if you're familiar with goat kefir, but I put that all over my face, my neck, and then my chest. And I do this in the bathtub so I don't get goat kefir all over my house. And then I leave that on for 10 minutes, and it's lactic acid. It's a gentler form. And what it does is it naturally exfoliates your skin, it softens your skin, it moisturizes your skin. It makes my skin feel like baby soft after I use it. And then so I'll use the goat kefir as an exfoliant, or I use brown rice flour. And all it is literally just brown rice flour in a bag. It's so cheap. And I mix it in my palm with water. And then I create a paste and I try to water it down so it's not too abrasive. And I just exfoliate that onto my face and in the shower. And then I pack some more on my face and I leave that on for about 5 minutes in the shower. And I swear my skin is the softest it's ever been when I use that. And these ingredients are so natural. They're one ingredient, they're so simple. And people always, it's funny because they're like, well, why can't you just buy something from the store? I'm like, yeah, I could afford to buy something from the store. Thank you. I'm not putting food on my face because I can't afford it. I'm putting it on there because it works so well and so natural. And I found that, I'm in my 40s and it works incredibly well for me to look youthful, to feel good. And I know that I'm not having a reaction from putting 50 ingredients on my skin. So, yeah, I would say. And then I also am really into Manuka honey. I've been using that for probably 40 to 35 years. I've been using Manuka honey on my face. And that's something is just really gentle for your skin, but it helps with collagen production. It's like a very gentle exfoliant. It's moisturizing, it's hydrating. And I just absolutely love just really simple ingredients. And in my book, I have a lot of recipes. So you choose your herbal beauty powder. So I have recipes and then I teach people about the benefits of just choosing an herbal beauty powder. So if you need an antioxidant boost, just choose some cacao powder and mix it into the honey. If you want another antioxidant boost, choose matcha, put it into the honey. My favorite one is putting hibiscus powder in there because it has AHAs. So it really brightens your skin. And I can't help but eat it when it's on my face because it just like I keep eating it because it tastes like a sweetheart. It's really, really good. And it's one of those masks that really scares people when I wear it because it's like the bottom shade of my book. It's like this blood pink red, and I look like a demon when I'm wearing it. But after you take it off, your skin is so bright and so gorgeous. So I would say I just keep it really simple. I don't use these crazy, products. But when it comes to my skincare, I do love a really good formulated skincare. I don't use the DIY for my everyday because a lot of stuff needs preservatives. So I just make something DIY and I use it right away. So I don't have to have preservatives. Otherwise, it will grow bacteria. And I'm not opposed to, lab created products. I'm not that crazy holistic, but I love a good clean beauty skincare, hydrosol, moisturizer, oil. But for the DIY for the hair and the skin and the nails, I do all holistic, simple 2 ingredient like recipes.
That is so amazing. Okay, I love that you touched on the hibiscus too. I'm a huge fan of hibiscus. I'll have to get you some Shula hibiscus oil. My family
Mm.
actually owns a small company that's all natural plant infused skincare. And if you like hibiscus, I'll send you some as a gift to see what you think. So tell me about some of the brands that you like for your everyday.
So I use a brand for the hydrosol. It's called Evan Healy. It's really good. I use the rose hydrosol. It's just one ingredient. For the moisturizer, I use a brand called Alpine Beauty. It's their barrier repair cream. It is the best moisturizer I've ever used in all clean beauty. It's really lightweight. It absorbs really well. I let it sit on for 10 minutes, and then when it's fully absorbed, I'll put on 100% pure cold pressed argan oil. And that brand is called, I believe it's Kahina Giving Beauty. I hope I said that right, but Kahina with a K, and it is really good. So I like a moisturizer and an oil because I have skin that's more towards the drier, sensitive type. So using a oil on top of a moisturizer will then lock in that hydration and moisture, opposed to just using an oil on your skin. People always say that oil is so hydrating, but what they don't realize is oils cannot hydrate your skin because they don't have water. So they can lock in existing hydration, but they cannot add hydration. So there's a lot of people in the clean beauty space that demonize water. They say, oh, it's just a filler ingredient. Well, water is a deliverer of hydration to your skin. So I don't believe that water is bad for your skin. So I like a good moisturizer and a good oil, and I just combine them together afterwards. So yeah, just very simple. I use also a brand called Blissoma. That's my facial cleanser.
Amazing. So I know that we had talked about like toxic chemicals in skincare, and then we mentioned obviously sometimes you need preservatives in your skincare for day to day. Are there any preservatives that you would say are okay and safe?
Mm, so you can get really natural. You can do things like vitamin E oil. There's rosemary seed oil, but these aren't like crazy. There's also red radish seed oil. Ones I would stick clear for the like parabens, phenexethanol. I can never say that word right. Phenylexethanol. That's the one that is in a lot of the clean beauty products, and I personally don't use it, but you can use it. I would say there's very minimal if you're using the oil-based products, you don't even need a preservative because there's no water in there to grow the bacteria.
Amazing. Love that. And how do you feel about tallow for skincare?
So I've used it on my body. I've used it on the chat for a chapstick. I don't personally use it on my face. I've never used it on my face. I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't tried it, so I can't 100% speak on it. I know it's really, really popular, but I do believe that people need the moisture and the water and all that. So they need a balance. Only using oils on your skin isn't bad, but I do believe people need a little bit of the more moisturizing. So the barrier repair cream has peptides, it has ceramides, it has hydration, there's hyaluronic acid. These are components your skin needs as you get older. If you're younger, you can get away with just using something like tallow, or even put tallow on top of something that is hydrating your skin as locking it in and protecting your barrier, but only using it, I don't know. I can't speak on it because I haven't used it.
No, I think that's a great approach. I mean, if we need that water, but like we're also looking for something to lock in, that makes sense. And it's so funny because I've seen even in the holistic world, tallow has become such a divisive topic. And I talk to people on every end of the spectrum. I'm like, I love to hear everyone's opinions. That's where I stand. I love to hear what people say. I mean, I personally use it, and I know everyone's like, oh, you're gonna break out. But I used to use all of the main super expensive, like clinical grade skincare, and my skin looked horrible because my hormones were a mess. And I was like, well, for me, like this pasture-raised grass-fed tallow is doing more for my skin than all. I'm trying not to say the brands, they're on the tip of my tongue, but like all of these toxic brands just shredded my skin. So Like, well, I guess right now in this season it works for me. Okay, so for somebody who is really struggling, I know we mentioned like the one at a time, but for someone who's struggling and really does want to start to like build out their non-toxic regimen, what would be like some of the first things you would start with?
I would say if you want to start out with beauty, start out with your lipstick just because you are probably eating it every time that you wear it. Even something as your chapstick, there's so many toxic ingredients in your chapstick. So every time something's on your lip, I mean, this lipstick is literally made with fruit pigments and essential oils and minerals. There's not anything crazy in there. And so lipstick for sure, and then things that cover a large portion of your body. So if you're talking about just the face, think about your foundation and your powders because those are going like on your skin a large portion. But also look at your body products because I mean a lotion that you use on your body could have fragrance and you're putting a lot of that on your skin every single day. But when it comes to the clients that I work with in person, when I go to their home, the first place I personally start is with their drinking water filter. I say, if you're going to do anything, always start with your drinking water filter because you should be drinking a good amount of water every day. And if you're using tap water, you're just ingesting so many toxins and you can really clean up your health if you just switch the one thing, which is your water filter.
That makes sense. I mean, we are a majority water, so that makes so much sense. What are you using for deodorant?
So the brand, oh geez, I don't know the brand. I got it at Whole Foods.
It's okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is, so I work from home mostly, so I don't really wear deodorant. I only wear like
Mhm.
right now. I don't want to ruin my little pretty dress or something because I have to dry clean them. So I'll put on deodorant, but I barely wear deodorant. I don't really know the brand.
That's okay. That's totally fine.
What do you use? Is it? I did use a tallow one for a while. There's a brand I
Yeah.
was using that was tallow.
Oh, love that. I've been using the Kosas, Kosa Sport because there's no, I mean, it's like a water base, no fragrance. I do the fragrance free. Obviously, no aluminum, no antiperspirant, and like pretty clean ingredients. But I've noticed also a lot of the natural ones give me rashes. So like they have like the baking soda and stuff to like absorb sweat, and it gives me an insane rash on my armpit. So this has been the only one, and I've used some of the best like natural brands, like the high-end natural brands. They all give me a rash. This has been the only one that does not like break my armpits out in these horrible like red itchy patches. So I've loved it. What is your thought on like the antiperspirant deodorant?
No, I would never recommend those. I mean, your body's detoxification, it comes through your sweat, your urine, in your armpits, and so why would you block that? That's why I don't wear it when I'm at home because I'm like, I don't want to block something that's natural. My body's trying to detox. So the antiperspirants are going to mess with your health so badly, especially the aluminum. I've known people who've got really big cysts underneath their armpits just from using aluminum. It's bad.
Wow, that is crazy. Okay, and so then looking at the home, if somebody's like all of a sudden realizing that not only is their bathroom counter full of these endocrine disrupting toxic products, but they're using all the like mainstream fragranced home products for all of its purposes. Are there any home care brands that you're loving as a non-toxic swap?
I would say, what's really popular is the Branch Basics. I feel like everybody uses that. I would say something even simple too that's more I'm all about like cost effective. So if you can't afford this whole Branch Basics thing, which is great, it's popular, then just get Dr. Bronner's, which is a really concentrated glycerin-based soap, and then fill up a bottle with that and put water and essential oils in there. I mean, it's a soap-based cleanser. You're sanitizing your stuff just as well, if not better. So I'm all about just keeping it simple and cost effective for people because I work for firsthand with people and you say go buy this expensive cleaning product and then people are like, well geez, it's going to cost me $70 to clean my home now, so you have to meet people where they're at. So if they can't afford it, then something like Dr. Bronner's, or people use apple cider vinegar and then water. I've tried that, but then my whole home smelled like apple cider or it smelled like vinegar and I did not like that. So just keeping it really simple. But Branch Basics is probably one of the most popular in the clean beauty or non-toxic space.
Love that. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of DIY lately with like vinegar and water and just because I feel like even the natural brands that I go to Whole Foods and I grab, I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's natural. And I can tell because when I use something that isn't natural, I get like this eczema breakout. So the second like something is greenwashed, I can tell because my skin literally tells me. So I'm like, so sensitive that I've been DIYing. I'm gonna try the Dr. Bronner's because I think that actually sounds brilliant. Okay, so we're totally shifting gears here. I know that you are an expert when it comes to all things facial exercise and like that kind of looks maxing, which I'm a huge fan of. Can you share some of your favorite facial exercises and what they do?
So I would say, we exercise our bodies, but then we don't exercise our faces. Our faces are like actual, they have muscles. So exercising your cheeks will help to keep them strong and healthy. So the face yoga exercise I do every, well, 6 times a week is probably about 20 to 30 minutes. And that's not doable for most people. But for me, I find it really relaxing and I just watch TV and it is what helps to calm my nervous system. But something as simple that everybody can do every day, every time you put on your skincare, you just tap your skin. And this really helps with your nervous system. It's my favorite thing to do all day, every day, but it also helps with your skincare. It helps to increase circulation to your skin and just help your products work better. And then I would say something as simple as sticking your tongue up like this, like
Mm-hmm, like sticking it up towards your nose.
right. It just helps with the lower part of your face. And then also just being mindful of your tongue placement throughout the day. So most people hold their tongue down here, that droops your face. So holding your tongue towards the top, the roof of your mouth throughout the day and being conscious, that'll make your face look instantly lifted if you're conscious of it throughout the day. And then I would say most of the people complain about their jowls. Most of that is caused by your neck and your posture. So massaging your neck every day and then just doing like really good neck stretches every day is really important because so many people are looking down at their phone, they're looking at social media, and so you get this tension in your face and then it causes, issues with your face sagging and everything. So just really stretching your back and stretching your neck. I would say every hour you should be stretching and looking upwards. I've noticed no one ever looks upwards. Everyone's walking in the street with their head on the down on their phones. So really be mindful of keeping your head upwards and just doing facial stretches and then massaging the back of your neck. Give yourself a back massage and a neck massage every day. Most aging in the face happens from the neck. Because think
Mm.
about it, your neck is what's controlling your face. So if your neck is really tight and you're not like moving it around and stretching it, it's going to start showing up in your face and pulling everything downwards.
I totally agree with you. That is so true. Are you a fan of going to the chiropractor when it comes to stuff with the neck?
No, I've never been to one and I honestly never will, but I know a lot of people who get a lot of good benefit from them.
Yeah. Okay, so along that vein, are there any treatments like whether it's lymphatic massage and cupping, saunas, whatever, like are there any that you really subscribe to and would recommend to people that you love for yourself?
I love acupuncture. I've been getting that for a
Mhm.
while, and I find that it's just so relaxing. It helps with your chi energy, but you can go for any ailment. You can also go for beauty purposes, and I find that it's so relaxing. I recently tried facial acupuncture, and it works. It's really great. It's something you need to be consistent with for a certain period of time, and then you can scale back. But it's a great alternative to Botox and all those unhealthy things. You can do things for your skin that are natural. And for me, I take a extreme holistic approach where I like everything grounded in nature. So I don't use beauty tools on my devices. So I don't use any of the microcurrent. I don't use red light therapy. I recommend them to people because I know they're beneficial. But for me, I purposely like to keep everything that's really grounded in nature and just calming to my nervous system. So I'll do, the face yoga, I'll do facial acupuncture or body acupuncture, the tapping on the skin, or the gua sha, stuff like that. But I think it's just you have to figure out what's best for you and enjoy your beauty routine because not everyone's going to enjoy what the other person's doing.
Yeah, there's some people that really hate, like, doing that full routine, and I think sometimes it takes, like, finding those little rituals that feel good within that. I used to hate washing my face when I used to have really bad hormonal acne, and I hated washing my face at night because 'cause I'm gonna have to take off my makeup and see what was underneath, and normally, at night, at the end of the day, it's when it's the most red and inflamed, so it's also gonna look so much worse than when you woke up in the morning, and it was, like, almost a point of anxiety for me, like, washing my face versus now it's, like, this ritual where I'm washing it, massaging, doing some cupping, and it feels good. It feels good to go to bed feeling like a little glazed donut. So it is so true, like finding what feels good. And like, I love that you mentioned gua sha. I think if you can do those things that really just kind of make you feel massaged and kind of that touch therapy, it really can elevate the experience of your skincare. For you, how often are you doing gua sha?
So personally, I've been doing gua sha probably for I want to say 10 years, and I recently stopped doing it. I still recommend it because it's beneficial, but I just recently had this aha moment where I'm like, okay, it's technically a skin scraping tool and I have sensitive skin. So why am I scraping my skin when I'm not exfoliating my skin regularly, only every, twice a month? So I've scaled back and I'm actually my skin's a lot happier because it's not being scraped all the time because I was doing it if not daily, 5 times a week. So I highly recommend gua sha, and I always recommend that people start with those gemstone rollers, just see if that's something that they can do daily, and then advance to the gua sha. And then if you can stick with the gua sha, try face yoga because face yoga, you can do the same techniques with the gua sha that you can do with your hands. And you don't need to buy something. And I find it's more soothing because you're touching your skin. There's something to be said about touching your skin and that soothing aspect of it. And I find it's more gentler because you can feel the pressure with your hand more than you could with a gua sha tool.
I love that. Yeah, and I almost feel like, and I don't know if this is placebo effect, but sometimes I feel like I can feel the lymph moving when I use my fingers. Like I love a gua sha for the cooling and depuffing, like jade specifically, my skin loves it. But sometimes like I want, like when I'm traveling, I won't bring it because I'll just feel my skin. And I always imagine that I can see the fluid like underneath the skin moving. And something about that is so calming to my nervous system. It feels so good.
Yeah, I love it, and it's just so relaxing. I think that's important too because I'm prone to hold tension in my jaw, but it's like really focusing in on self-care practices that'll just make you look more radiant as you age because we're all so stressed out. We have busy lives. There's technology and children and social media and work, and so we hold all that tension in our face. But doing something like the gua sha, the face yoga, it's a moment for yourself. Even if you had 5 minutes to do your skincare, just tapping your skin, it's just you're telling yourself that you're worth it, and that's gonna make you look more beautiful.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be tapping my skin with my skincare tonight. I'm really excited to try it because I know I used to do like butterfly tapping and all that,
Mhm.
but I just haven't done it in a long time. And like as you're doing it, I can feel psychosomatically like how good it feels. I'm like, okay, we're doing that tonight. So Jessica, can you tell me what are your health goals right now?
My health goals are just to, I would say probably just to calm my nervous system. My health is in really good shape and we can all improve. But for me, I would say to just keep my nervous system calm and just to be peaceful throughout my life. I'm someone who's prone to stress and anxiety. But then also, I would say I need to exercise more because, I'm someone who does not like exercise. My sister, she's a marathon runner. And for me, I just don't personally like exercise. So for me, just getting out every single day and walking in nature is a number one thing that just makes me happy. It's simple, it's low impact, and that works for my body type. Someone like my sister needs that hardcore running. So yeah, I would say my health goals are just to be healthier and more fit and just to take it easy, really.
Love that so much. Well, I have loved this conversation with you. I've learned so much. I know the audience is going to learn so much. Where can people find you and connect with you?
You can find me on jessicarosewellness.com, and then all my social media platforms are Jessica Rose Wellness as well. And then you can find my book on Amazon and all the different, online platforms for that too.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, you guys, if you love this episode, make sure to check out Jessica's book. I am so excited to read it, and I know you guys are going to benefit so much from it. And then, of course, if you leave us a 5-star review, it always helps us grow as a baby podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and I can't wait to chat with you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.